Hello. Didn't mean you, but all right. I mean, it's just you and me here at the minute. You put the microphone on me or you today, Manoa? No, you're right. It'll fall off your fluff. Wouldn't work at all. Hello to the people watching this back. Me and Minerva are going to hang out and play some Metroid II. Aren't we? Don't know how keen I am on this title screen music. I suppose it's what it needs to be for the Game Boy. Yeah, Minerva. Yeah. There we go. Good enough. Error. YouTube is not responding. YouTube is not receiving enough video. Dropped frames tons. Oh, okay. Oh, I know why. Mother Brain says hello. Hello. You have to bear with me again. I know what the problem is. YouTube's not receiving enough frames. I know how to fix that. I even saw earlier that like my off-site backups were running. Like I could have just known that. Could have dealt with it before I started. So basically the video quality is going to look pretty poor for the moment. But I've just killed both of my VMs that are running off-site backups while I try and stream. So well prepared. You know, I don't normally stream at this time of day, so I don't normally think about it. I don't know who's here at this time of day. The Americans have all gone to sleep. Europe's, I don't know, Sunday afternoon. What are you doing? Sunday morning. What's Europe doing Sunday morning? Not wearing a watch. Just poorly prepared all over, really. Alright. Bear with me for just a moment. You know, if it's not one thing, it's another. There we go. Okay. Basically, the colours had gone a bit funny on my TV, which doesn't affect you, it isn't your problem, but I want to enjoy all the beautiful colours that Metroid II for the Game Boy has to offer. This is one of those where there's no specific plan. I just felt like playing a retro game, and it makes sense to do that while streaming. Give me a second here. Type A is much more comfortable. There we go. I've played through both of the remakes of this, AM2R and, well, I suppose the name AM2R and the Metroid II remake suggests there's several, but I've played through both the ones that matter. AM2R and the official one on 3DS. And enjoyed both, but haven't really played, well, at least I haven't yet finished the original. And I feel like it's one of those where, like the original Metroid, it doesn't get the respect it deserves. That's my theory, anyway. I've got a save file where I've got, I guess, fairly far on original Game Boy. That's playing on one of these, obviously. Not streaming from that. Try to turn up the game audios just a little. That's better, right? I was currently watching, but that's fine. Someone can come in and tell me if the audio levels are correct. Picture is frozen. Thank you. Okay. I need people to tell me this stuff. I still don't know why that's happening. If anyone does, by all means do give some ideas. Hello. Now, when it happens, I can fix it pretty quickly, but it's unplug and reconnect the capture thingy, the USB thingy, and like reselect it in OBS, which is obviously a pain. Hi Maggie, audio's fine, both game and you. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah. And at least that is a thing that I fixed. The audio of my past streams was shocking, but that's just I took a bit of time to learn how compressors work a little bit. How am I doing? I'm doing all right, thank you. Yeah, pretty good. Let me shoot you. How are you doing, Mikey? Cool, we did it. Alright, we beat the Metroid. It's weird in this one that you don't have to collect the morph ball or the missiles, you just have them. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Like, it's a Sunday and I felt like streaming. I had the idea last night that I would get up really early in the morning and stream at a time that would be accessible for like an American audience, and then when I woke up at 9 o'clock German time, I thought, well, that's not going to work. They're already in bed, but I still fancied playing Metroid II. So here we are. Where are you joining us from, Mikey? Out of interest. Don't need your address. I'm not coming over. Oh, I could. Maybe. Depends where you are and what else we've both got on. I mean, it depends more on you, really. I mean, I'm not that busy. I'm doing this. Watching from Hampshire, US. Oh, okay. So some Americans are still awake. I suppose you must be. I can't pretend though that that the reason I'm not a successful streamer is time zones. That's obviously ridiculous. The reason I'm not a tremendously successful streamer is, I'm going to say, lack of technical ability. I think charisma's fine. I'm all right for charisma. It's lack of technical ability, both in terms of gaming and getting the stream to work first time. That's it. That's all it is. Mikey also American. Just oh, hello. Oh, so I did catch a couple of you. Oh, that's nice. I was hoping to catch a couple of American viewers because I get so much love from the US on my videos. And it's just nice to be able to like interact with you occasionally. So hello. Glad that you're here. Favourite Metroid and, in your opinion, hardest? As in, what is my favourite? I mean, Super Metroid is my favourite. Hardest? I don't know. And probably also Super Metroid once I started playing it, but after a few playthroughs it gets pretty straightforward. Like the original, I played the original Nestroid as well and had a good time with that. But I don't think it was difficult. Like, it's like all retro games, you just got to be kind of a bit more cautious in how you play it. It's just not forgiving, you know. I presume we need the bombs to get through there, so that's cool. But yeah, not much experience in Metroid 2. Maybe this will turn out to be the hardest. Who knows? Do you have a Switch 2? Yes. Do you have a Switch 2? And same question to you, Nolan, if you're willing to answer. What do you think about Metroid? What's your favourite and most challenging of the Metroids? Morning, Big Spud. Definitely European. Bah. I feel like these refill things got a lot better in Super Metroid. A lot less threatening. Still threatening, but like easier. I think the default palette for... I think, if I remember rightly, Metroid 2 has a default palette on the Super Game Boy. So this is kind of... The colours we've got now are like as intended. This is as Nintendo wants us to play it. No idea where I'm going. Alright, let's go this way. No bombs, so I don't think we can get through there yet. Alright. Switch 2's good. I haven't played it very much. It's not exciting, is it? Do you know what I mean? I suppose it's in the name, Switch 2. It's like it's another Switch, but it's not compelling, exciting new hardware in the way that Nintendo has done previously. You know, all their other consoles, even the Wii going into the Wii U, you felt like you were getting something like really new and different and special that had like completely its own like identity. Even with the Wii U, just like, although it had a lot of the Wii sort of feel and its design, software and hardware and whatever, it's the gamepad made such a huge difference to how that console felt. And the new Joy-Cons on the Switch 2, lovely as they are, don't really do anything different to the old ones, do they? So, I don't know. I just haven't been excited to play Switch 2. I can see that, yeah. And the only game I've really got for it is that's Switch 2 exclusive. Well, I've got Mario Kart and I've got Donkey Kong. Both good. That's it. I've been more excited about Silk Song, which obviously it being on Switch or Switch 2 makes no difference whatsoever. Hey, first E-Tank. I've only played the original as a kid, but not many others to any extent. Okay. Oh, well, thanks for dropping by anyway. Definitely recommend checking out Metroid Zero Mission and then all of the others. Let's start at the bottom. Let's go right down. Work our way up. The music's so weird in this game. I don't know. Like, there's the one theme, Ice Beam. There's the one theme that everyone knows, which is awesome. But favorite and least favorite track of Mario Kart World. I don't know. I haven't even played it enough to know, to be honest. The tracks I like the Donkey Kong one. Definitely the Donkey Kong scaffolding one that I don't know the name of. Definitely like that one. The tracks in Mario Kart World kind of blend together, which is like obviously the point. But it's also kind of a downside in thinking of like in remembering them individually and in them having their own identity in the same way that other Mario Kart tracks have in the past. You know? Like, not wanting to complain all the time. But if Coconut Mall was introduced in Mario Kart World, I don't think it would have the legendary reputation it has. Can I get through this? No. It used to be possible in original Metroid to damage boost through these blocks. Yeah. The research for a video we're playing for fun. Pictures frozen. Bit of both. I don't really know which. I'm going to bring my laptop a little bit closer to me just so that I notice more when the picture freezes. No video. There is video. Because I've done a video on Metroid and Super Metroid. It feels like correct to do a series, you know? And that would obviously include this. And this is one that's not talked about a great deal, I don't think, as compared to the others, just because of it being on Game Boy. But it's finding an angle on it. You know, if I just review it, that's not interesting. If I compare it to the other remakes, there's other YouTubers who have done that already in sort of much more thorough ways than probably I would. No, nothing up there. No. But one thing I could see talking about is this and Link's Awakening. Seems garish for Metroid. Yeah, it does. I mean, we can change the colours. Yeah, see, look, it's selected this palette specifically because Nintendo thinks that we'll enjoy this palette for playing Metroid 2. We could tell it we're going to use that. Looks a bit more Game Boy-ish. But honestly, kind of think that's better. Super Game Boy, innit? So, I was saying, yeah, Metroid 2 and Link's Awakening, what they have in common is that it's Nintendo not treating their portable console like a sort of second-class experience. And that's interesting to me, because at the time, the main competitor was the Sega Game Gear, and have you played the Game Gear versions of Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 and stuff? And, you know, and then they released these sort of Game Boy Master System exclusive games that were like the Sonic Chaos, your Triple Trouble, and like, they're obviously not part of the mainline series in any way. They didn't care about them as much. They have. I'm going to have to look into it before I actually say this for sure, but they have the feeling of third-party development. You know what I mean? They feel like Sega didn't really care that much, so they farmed those games out to someone else, and they just don't feel like Sonic. And they're definitely not considered canon in terms of the series. Metroid 2 and Zelda are. Nintendo, although they were working with a much lower-powered system, even in the Game Gear, really, they knew that they could create like rich, deep experiences on much weaker hardware, and went and did that with Metroid 2 and Zelda specifically, and I bet there are other examples. The Mario Land series, not so much, is obviously a side series. They didn't quite have the confidence to do it with Mario. But with their other, like, big franchises, like, yeah. I have zero memory of the Super Game Boy. I do remember the Game Gear. Yep. Picture is frozen again. Thank you. That's happening a lot more today than it's happened previously. I don't know why. I just killed a Metroid. You missed it. No, the sound doesn't come back if I try and just unplug it and replay it. I really need to try and figure out why that's happening, or just switch back to Windows. Because this thing with the picture freezing, that only started happening once when I switched to recording in Linux, streaming in Linux. And I did that because I've always quite liked Linux on the desktop and fancied using it, but like Windows was just always easier and just there. But when Nintendo said they were dropping support for Windows 10 and my laptop didn't support Windows 11, I was like, all right, sod you then. I know when I'm not wanted. I like that they put the refills in this game. Like, Nintendo kind of realised that having players refill their health only by killing enemies was a bit harsh. You know, and that's what I mean about this being a proper sequel, is that there's real, like, new additions to the series that would come back again and again. Health refills, and of course the spider ball is a big one. You know, there are areas where they kind of simplified the experience a little bit, for sort of in ways that made sense for the hardware, for portability, whatever. Just in terms of like Link's Awakening has much smaller screens. This has, I guess, a simpler premise that is more designed to play in like smaller bite-sized chunks, you know, going around defeating all the Metroids one by one. And as a Game Boy game, and with the saves, of course, being a new thing, but as a, well, not really, no, because they did that with the disk system version of Metroid, didn't they? But yeah, the fairly regular save stations are really good. Tell you a story about this. I had reason to pop to an eye clinic this week, and I brought my Game Boy with me to play in the waiting room, and this game and Metroid II, and they did a few tests, and I needed eye drops for one of them. I don't know if you ever had eye drops in, but can't see anything. Everything gets incredibly blurry. But they're sort of slow acting, takes a little while. So basically when I went into the office to get the eye drops, I had paused my Game Boy because I was at a point where I hadn't saved and I wanted to continue playing my game. But I also kind of knew where I was and where the save point was, and I knew that like eye drops take a little while to activate, so I thought, okay, what can I do? What can I do before I'm unable to see this game anymore? And I managed to take out 2 Metroids and get to a save point. Only just. When I got to the save point, I could no longer read like the status icons at the bottom of the screen. I could see Samus, but I couldn't see the enemies on the way back, you know, that kind of thing. I was like, hey, I did a little bit of extra challenge to the game. So, you know, if you have to get your eyes looked at, definitely recommend bringing Metroid 2 along with you. Okay, well, I'm going to do this in a slightly less stupid way. Yeah, you know, good times. I don't know about you. I don't know how old you are. Statistics say that you're all about the same age I am, and one of the things that worries me about getting older, the reason I'm kind of keeping an eye on my eyes, one of the things that worries me about getting older is not being able to play my Game Boy Micro anymore. And other portable gaming. What's up, big fella? What's up, Samuel Pope? Welcome to Metroid II, Amateur Hour. I don't know what your experience is with this game, and I feel like playing something about fighting the Metroids in this game. That feels like where they, I don't know. I mean, I'm comparing it to the NES Metroid. The fights with the Metroids are fine. Like, they're not... I find this more kind of strategic and interesting than fighting, like, Kraid, where you just spam bombs or whatever. In the original Kraid fight, there's nothing to it, really. The Metroids have some interesting movement patterns and attacks. You've got to fight them from certain angles and whatever. But something mechanically about it still feels like the Game & Watch. I don't know why. I guess just the way they sort of move by sort of juddering forwards, like on a timer, rather than smoothly. It's just like, yeah, this feels like an LCD game. Which makes sense. You know, Gunpei Yokoi made the Game & Watch, made the Game Boy. Have a feeling he was involved with this game, but I haven't done any research before turning up, so you can tell me if I'm wrong. Same, I just need my heist to function for GTA 6. Good luck. What are some newer games you really like? I like, with newer games especially, I like something that can occupy my every waking thought. Let me tell you what I mean. When we were kids and we were playing, even like something like Super Mario Bros. 3, you would leave your NES on when you were playing it in the morning before school, and you'd go to school and you'd be thinking about that game all day. You'd be thinking about the next, where you are in the game, the next bit you have to fight. You'd be like, I don't know, drawing little doodles of the Koopa Kids and stuff like that. When we were kids, games occupied our thoughts in a big way. Now we're older and we've got mortgages. That doesn't really work as much with simpler games, but there are some that have such deep sort of story and sort of mechanical possibilities that you really can sort of daydream about them. And I really loved daydreaming about games when I was a kid. So the modern games that let me do that are games like Baldur's Gate 3 and Cyberpunk 2077. These really big RPG experiences with a lot of customization, where you can think, you know, what character upgrades you're going to get next, and what story beats you're experiencing, and how you're going to approach the game. I don't know if you've noticed, a very kind of nostalgic guy. And that old feeling of getting sucked into a game is what really attracts me to a lot of modern games. You all get that? I'm often thinking about Call of Duty Zombies maps and kind of analysing them in my head. Yeah, that's cool. And that's a good feeling, right? That's something nice to think about. The world is a horrible place in many ways, but getting into a piece of media and having it occupy your mind is just a lovely feeling. And makes the rest of everything kind of easier to deal with, I feel like. Claire Obscure got some way to that level for me this year. Yeah, Claire Obscure as well. God, the weirdness and the Frenchness of it. Such a beautiful game. And the mystery. We're not, obviously, no spoilers. But it's weird enough that you're thinking about kind of what's happening. You know, there's definitely enough there to get your brain teeth into. Do you play long story games? Well, yeah, of course. Those ones. The problem is with those is then you don't get to play so many because free time and how long they take and whatever. It's kind of why my channel's about, it's kind of one of the reasons why I keep the channel being exclusively retro games is that they tend to be shorter. And just practically the amount of free time I have to devote to making a YouTube channel. I mean, that didn't take too long. I'd noticed that you couldn't hear me. And I was kind of trying to deal with it. Game audio's back on as well. Because what happened was all of my audio devices just suddenly disappeared. I couldn't select anything, like no input from the game. And then I realized, oh, my microphone is also not like showing up in OBS. Like, cool. So we are back. Just make sure both chats are back. Test. Test. Cool. I haven't played Shadow Complex. And Big Spud, Disco Elysium. Yeah, Disco Elysium was one of those games for me as well when I played it. I think it only works once with Disco Elysium. It's a game that I think is supposed to have replay value. And because there's obviously a lot of different directions you can take your character. But for me, it really doesn't. It's such a unique experience the first time you play it. And the second time you play through it, you've lost all of that. It's and the game sort of mechanically isn't mechanically strong enough, in my opinion, to sort of make it worth a second playthrough without the kind of the mystery of what's going on and kind of how it works. Because the interesting thing about getting through Disco Elysium isn't just the politics. It's when it's gradually understanding how the main character understands himself and talks to himself and interacts with himself and his own mind and the different aspects of his own mind. And once you get a feel for that, the game's not really interesting to discover anymore. Was my view on it. Very, very good the first time through, though. Like, incredible. I love the music in this game. I love this song. There isn't much music in this game, sadly, but this tune is a banger. Did you see my recommendation? I did, I think. Was your recommendation Yakuza 0? We've got to catch up a little bit on where we were, like, before the everything froze and I had to restart the stream. Give Shadow Complex a go. What is it? Tell me what Shadow Complex is. I don't really have a big game on the go at the moment, except for Baldur's Gate 3 again. So I'm definitely open to discovering something. And there are plenty of these sorts of games that I've missed. That are retro now as well, that I could maybe discover as part of the channel. But Yakuza 0 is one that I'm already aware of, and I haven't played any of the Yakuza series. So could definitely find out if that's my thing. I don't know. I know why mechanically, but it's kind of a shame that the Metroids suddenly in this game, and only this game, lose their vulnerability to ice. Especially as that's like such a big story point in Metroid Prime. I don't know if it is such a big story point, but they particularly like talk about it in the logs that you discover and stuff, that Metroids are vulnerable to ice. It's like the main thing about them. Shadow Complex was a 2.5D Metroidvania for Xbox Live Arcade. Okay. Do I need an Xbox? I mean, I guess came out on PC as well. They are really long, so I hesitate to recommend Yakuza to an adult that has more responsibilities, but Yakuza 0 is amazing. Yeah, alright. I mean, I say responsibilities. I have a job, and cats, and wife. I don't have children. Which makes stuff like this a lot easier. I always... It's frozen again, hasn't it? I always dream about, like, taking a little bit of time off work just to get really sunk into a video game. And it sounds like sort of Yakuza 0, from what you're saying, will be that kind of thing. I know almost nothing about Shadow Complex 7. There apparently been some controversy over it being a prequel to an Orson Scott Card novel. I know nothing about this. Oh, it's still frozen. Why is it still frozen? The thing is, I was saying I would definitely like to take some holiday just to play video games and get into something. But the problem with that is I've also kind of got the travel bug, and I want to see places around the world and play all the video games, and my job doesn't afford me enough holiday to do both. Or enough vacation, as you say. Game's unfrozen, thanks for letting me know. I noticed this time. Would be fun to watch you run Shadow Complex at some point. Yeah, maybe. Is it on PC as well, or is it like locked to Xbox? Because I got no Xbox. I'm taking a lot of damage. The health refills you get in this game from enemies are really measly. No, please. Okay, we did it. Oh, I was tense. I'm going to need a minute and unfreeze the video. You're back? Yes. I have a weird relationship to Metroidvanias as a genre. Shooting games into the gungeon. Yeah, okay. I have a weird relationship to Metroidvania as a genre because Metroid is one of my favourite game series, but I've yet to play a Metroidvania outside that series that I'd love to the same extent. Same extent. Original Hollow Knight? Maybe? Silk Song is a little bit too hard for me to get into in the same way. Like Metroid games, I feel like are the right level of challenging for me. Oh, I really need to refill health, you guys. I don't want to fight another Metroid. Steamwall Dig 2 I really got into. Gato Roboto you definitely want to check out as well. But you can get all this from any list of the best Metroidvanias. Oh, God, what was that one? Shadow Complex on PC, I was talking about it. Thank you. Well, that was my question. So you can talk about it to answer my question. I appreciate that. And I talk about it anyway, do what you want. But Axiom Verge. Freaking Axiom Verge. That was the original Axiom Verge I got into like a Metroid. Like, because I know what you mean. There's something really special about Metroid specifically. But I loved the original Axiom Verge. The sequel didn't hit the same beats for me. Oh no, it's a big one. Please no. Please no. I'm going to refill health and then do that. I think you've already played those, Laura. Yeah, maybe. But what I can tell you is that none of those games gave me the same joy that Metroid Dread did when it first came out. So I get it. There is something special about Metroid specifically. But Axiom Verge, I think, comes closer than others. To capturing the feel of it. Yeah. Original Axiom Verge is awesome. Do play it, Samuel. What do I think of Wolfenstein? Got a video on it. Got a video on Wolfenstein 3D anyway. The original Wolfenstein, don't know, couldn't tell you. Actually, you know what? I don't mind telling you. You know what I bought yesterday? I bought Wolfenstein 3D for the SNES. No, day before yesterday, on Friday. Just happened to be in my local retro game shop, saw a copy of Wolfenstein 3D for the SNES and thought, that's interesting. It's not good, but it's interesting. So I've got that now. So I'll stream that at some point. The timing of this is fiddly. Okay, we've stopped beeping. That's progress. We've stopped beeping. Definitely would like a health refill. RTCW I played, I think, a very, very long time ago. Oh, why are there more Metroids? I was hoping for like nice health refill or something. No, Metroids. I swear if there are more Retroids. The newer Wolfensteins I've always kind of dabbled in and had a good time with them briefly, but I've never got I never got deep into one of them. FPS for me, I used to play a lot more FPS, but it has to be kind of very special now, I think. Retro stuff has also been interesting. Fixed my Super or DSi. I've been playing on public transport every day to and from school since. Yeah, I get it. Like, this is my go-to at the moment, is Game Boy Light. It's really cool carrying around original hardware. I really enjoy it. I haven't played every Wolfenstein game, but I love the machine games titles I've played. Storytime really compelling, made DJ one of my favourite FPS protagonists. Yeah, from what I've seen, and the brief bits I've played, I get that feeling of them as well. Like, I respect them a lot, and it's not my favourites, you know? Oh, there's no health here, and we haven't saved for ages. What's going on? I'm going to need to see the manager. Get me the manager of SR388. I'm also scared of going up these because these damage you. Platforming sections where you take damage just doing the platforming. Why not? Is there health in here? Okay, this is about where we can. No. I want to play the new Wolfenstein games. Yep. As much as I like Samus Returns and AM2R, neither of them hit the same vibe as the original Metroid II. That's what I'm discovering. I finished both Samus Returns on 3DS and AM2R. And great experiences, both of them. I tell you what, there is a definite... Yeah, I got it. There's definitely a feeling of... Metroid's about the feeling of kind of loneliness, dread, fear. It's, you know, inspired by the original Alien, the whole series, and I tell you what, this captures it a great deal, especially at the moment when I'm wandering around with no health, desperately searching for a refill. Like, the later games don't, the later Metroid games don't capture the feelings of horror and desperation, I guess. I don't know what the word is. Dread, I suppose, is the word, but Metroid Dread doesn't really have it either. I mean, this is health of a sort, and I'm really quite worried about this thing. Like with Dread, I got a feeling that Nintendo's aware that they've lost something when they started being kinder to the player. You know, with the maps getting more detailed and with them giving you the... See, just one hit and that just undoes everything. with the maps having more detail and them giving you more direction and making the games a little bit friendlier to newcomers, they've lost something of the feeling of the old Metroid. You know, you don't have to do stuff like this in the new Metroid games. And in a way that's good, that's making the games more approachable and we like that. It doesn't mean that it's strictly better. Because it does take something away as well. And they kind of forced it back in with the ED bits. They're sort of trying to... I feel that those are really like forced horror sections, trying to recapture some of the old Metroid feel. I get it. It kind of works. It's not the same thing. Those are contained areas where you know what you're getting. And they're really highly telegraphed. It's like, ooh, here's a scary bit, you know. I think it was the, with Metroid Fusion, they did it with the SAX, right? It's like we can't use the game mechanics to create the dread anymore. Because we want our games to be approachable, so we've got to use these like specific enemies and story beats to try and capture some of the old feeling, but it's not the same thing. Like, there's good reason that new Metroid games don't have you do this. And that's the difference, I think, with Metroid 2 and its remakes as well. I'm pro-map, I will say. And I think this game could have a map. But only Super Metroid got the map balance right, I feel like, where it gives you, like, just enough information to basically know where you are. And have some ideas for where you could go. I don't feel like you stay lost in Super... You get lost in Super Metroid, but not for long. It's a really nice balance, I feel like. Claudia would disagree. We're fine for now. Right, well, you've been talking about while I've been doing that. The later Metroids are great in their own right, but the mood doesn't have that pseudo-horror element the same way. Yep, haven't played a lot of Metroid. I usually enjoy it. It's never to a super high degree because I'm not a big Metroidvania guy. Okay. The Emmy sections, I was saying ED, which is the thing from Mass Effect. Person? It's kind of what it's about. The Emmy sections feels a little bit too much like obstacle courses of more intense platforming stealth, not really scary in the way the SAX in Fusion was. Yeah. It's about, I guess, creating the feeling of being hunted in the same... Do I want to go down here now? Yeah, alright. Like, the Emmy clearly wants to make that feeling, that same feeling that you got with the SAX of being hunted down by something, but it's, but because it's contained sections, it does feel like you say, because you never knew when the SAX was going to pop out. It's been a long time since I've played Fusion. That's another example where the portable console got a mainline game. What's a game you think is overhated? For me, it's Super Mario Kart. Is Super Mario Kart hated? I don't know. I'm not too in tune with the retro gamer sentiment. There was definitely like a feel that the series really started with Mario Kart 64, but never mind. Super Metroid? No, not Super Metroid. Super Mario Kart is, I think, is a you had to be there game. I don't think it's overly hated, but I think it's misunderstood by people who didn't have it at the time. Or I guess not even misunderstood, just kind of understood differently. If that makes sense. I wouldn't say it's hated, but it's pretty much universally seen as the worst one. Yeah. To be fair to the haters, the Mario Kart series is all bangers. So if you can't have Super Mario Kart as the worst one, what's the worst one? Fusion is one of the 2D Metroids I remember playing the least because the linear structure and skippable story sequences make you feel a bit too restrictive. Yeah, I think that's my feeling on it as well, and why I haven't. Yeah, it's a tricky question because I think the worst Mario Kart is Super Mario Kart, but obviously there's reason for that. And it's fair enough. It's the, the age of the game. They haven't quite got the mechanics out yet. I feel like I should be able to go somewhere in here. No? Okay, guess not. If Super Mario Kart, if there was one clanger in the Super Mario Kart series, there isn't. They're pretty much all gold. Nice. Then it will be possible to make a worse Mario Kart than Super Mario Kart. You know what I mean? Super Mario Kart is a good game in its own right. I'm taking too much damage again. Is there anything down here? Feels like there should be. Mario Kart has always been highly iterative. Yep, that's right as well. I forgot when I was in here earlier that I've got the spider ball. I didn't need to platform out. I think lately I've just realised what kind of games I enjoy the most, which is games that are harsh on you and don't give you much to work with, but not to an unfair degree. Yeah, and Metroid, right? Is great at that. I greatly enjoyed the first Mario Kart. So did I. I played the first Mario Kart constantly when I was a kid. Like, I used to, I didn't have it myself. I had a friend who had Super Mario Kart. I was around his house every Saturday afternoon, without fail, when we were kids, playing Super Mario Kart. And that was pretty much all we did. We had other games, but we were playing Super Mario Kart. Going back to it is, I don't tend to, when I've got people around who aren't into retro games, Super Mario Kart isn't the Mario Kart that we're playing, you know? We're doing Mario Kart 64 at a minimum. But, you know, I'm quite happy myself to play it and have a good time with it. Just other people aren't, and that's fair. Double Dash was great as well. I feel like there's always a gimmick, isn't there? Like per Mario Kart, there's always a gimmick. Other than that, but it is basically iterative, and basically since getting Mario Kart 8, there's no reason to break out like Mario Kart Wii. At least when you're playing a Mario Kart with your family. if you're playing a Mario Kart with people who are really into Mario Kart, there's obviously a difference between Mario Kart 9 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, sorry, and Mario Kart Wii. Obviously. But that's not what you're doing with Mario Kart. Yeah, if I've got retro gamer friends over, I don't think we're playing Mario Kart at all. Except when that one guy, that one guy comes around. My friend from when I was a kid, and we used to play Super Mario Kart all the time. If he comes over, I'm cracking out the Super Mario Kart. Video's frozen. It's one of the downsides of making a series so iterative, which is the fact that it can make older installments feel like they're basically just prototypes of their sequels. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I do feel like Double Dash did something different, and Double Dash is worth returning to specifically. Starting to panic a little bit here. Yeah, there we go. We've got to redo a lot of stuff. You can always get out of any situation, and it's always your fault if you die. Are we talking about Mario Kart still? Okay, we're just back here. Where shall I go then? I definitely need to... This is a Game Boy game. You know? And I'm here thinking, where do I go? What's the play like? This is a big world. This feels epic in a way that Game Boy games really should not. Yeah, it does. The different arenas that you find the Metroids in vary the experience a great deal, and I was thinking that as well. Just I was failing to beat that one with all the like destructible walls around it. See, that feels like it's platforming me somewhere with the ice beam, but it just isn't. I guess we don't have to redo too much. Had I remembered where that save point was, I'd have gone back to it. Whee! Video's frozen. DuckTales on Game Boy. Haven't played it. Do I have it? No, I don't. I don't think so. I'm rediscovering the Game Boy a bit. I don't know if you saw my video from Japan. But there's Game Boy games everywhere. And you can just buy them. So I have so many Japanese Game Boy games now. What is this? Oh, right. I recognise this from remakes, and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. Samus, aim diagonally. I say the AI for this is something quite special for a Game Boy. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's the destructible sand bit. Hey, I damaged it. I feel like it's damaging me a lot more though. Alright, we'll go back, we'll do that again. Bombs maybe, yeah, we got there. It's bombs in the remakes as well. And the timing to get past those is fiddly. And I guess bombs because that's how you defeat that boss in Fusion. Is it in Fusion as well? I'd forgotten about that. I know it's how you beat it in AM2R. That fight in AM2R is amazing, actually. And you know what? I have no memory of it from Samus Returns on 3DS. None at all. Can't remember what it's like on there. That's why AM2R is better. Because it's where it rolls across the screen really quickly and you have to drop bombs under it to make it bounce up. Favourite retro soundtrack is a tricky one because there are so many. Like, God, it's an impossible question. Springball, I think. You want to take a holiday just to praise your video games? What are some holiday locations you'd like to visit? Okay. So we are mixing up the definition of holiday and vacation a little bit. When I said holiday, I mean from work. In terms of places to visit, the place that I always wanted to visit my whole life was Japan, specifically Tokyo and Kyoto, and I did that this summer for the first time in my life. And do you know where I want to go most in the world now? It's Japan again. That was so good. Give me a second. Top 5 video game soundtracks, damn. We can have Super Metroid, probably Ocarina of Time, I know Donkey Kong Country 2, possibly Mega Man 2 comes to mind, and give me one. There's so many good ones. What's on my shelf? Quake 2. That was a lovely video, you and your buddy finding bargains. Oh, thank you. I'm still working on the other part of that. It's long going. I like normally doing scripted videos because it makes the editing so much easier. And obviously the videos with Puka in Japan were unscripted, so they're a lot more difficult to edit. And it's such a slog editing. It's like my least favourite thing about doing this. I took a vacation to Japan once and I've been living here for 18 years. It'll get you. Yeah, I can fully imagine. Like, I'm going to go again. I'm going to go again with multiple people to do multiple different things, but we're still going to, every time, hit up some retro game shops because that is so much fun. There's so much about Japan in terms of culture and the way its kind of society works that I just think they've got it right. You know, simple things like in Japan, that whole thing where people don't eat while they're walking, absolutely correct. And I've completely stopped doing that since I've been there because it does feel kind of, I don't know, dirty, disrespectful, you know. Japan Honolulu Sir Mustang. Hey, if he's down. Yeah, he's going, isn't he? I saw him mention it in one of his videos. He's already got himself booked in. I don't think he's been yet, has he? But I saw that he was planning to go. My brother went to Sri Lanka, said it's amazing. All right, yeah, cool. What I was talking about was I want to take time off from work, we'll say that, in order to play video games, not necessarily to go somewhere. But we hit a bit of a language barrier thing. But it is still a good question and a good point. But yeah, we've got other stuff on the list as well, like meaning to go to Prague, meaning to go to like somewhere in Finland we want to do, Berlin even. You know, I live in Germany. I've never been to Berlin. You know, we'll be fixing that in 2026. But that's the problem that I have, is that there are so many beautiful places to see and also so many beautiful games to play. I had a buddy at work who also loves to travel and feels like, but doesn't have the opportunities to travel as often as he wants to. Like just financially, like it doesn't work out. So he ends up taking like time off work and sometimes like 'cause he has to use up the days. Which again might be a concept that Americans aren't familiar with. And ends up sitting at home doing nothing, and it's like, dude, video games. And my wife Claudia was talking about one of her friends who had to take some time off work and said she was just sitting around all day at home and she was so bored. I don't understand. How can you be bored? In this day and age, how does that happen? Come to Australia. All right. Pay for it. It wasn't a language barrier thing, so no, yeah, fair enough. I don't demand like full attention. There are a lot of nuances to Japanese culture I'm unfamiliar with, and I have a feeling that if I dropped into the country today, I would so unwittingly commit so many multiple social transgressions. I found YouTube very helpful before I went. The Retro Games Museum in Berlin, I definitely do also want to get to. If that's still running, I don't actually know. And will be one of the things we do when we visit. We've got a plan to do it in spring. Really looking forward to it. I But Japan gets a lot of stuff right. The eating and walking thing is one example I've given you. I actually really like the bowing. I think that's cool. I don't know if it's necessarily good for you long term, but just as a, but you know, to be doing low bows all the time, it's good for you if it's good for your back. But sure, like I've noticed that since going there, I tend to like give a little nod to people just kind of out of respect. A lot more than I used to. I kind of dig that. It's not a full bow, it's just like when someone serves me a shop, it's like, thank you, you know. Even when I'm in that stage of being bored with video games, guess what I do? I make beats. Having more than 100 truly made my life so much better in ways I never expected. Yeah. Clarity and I like that too. I'm kind of getting back into Magic the Gathering a bit at the moment, which is still gaming, but it's not video gaming. Music, I've done in the past and do bits of here and there, as you know. Bowing feels a bit extra in the West, but I give nods to people I've been thinking about. It's just a reflex. Yeah, I've spent fully 2 weeks of my 41 years on this earth I've spent in Japan, and I've started bowing. Just a little, you know. Okay, so that doesn't come all the way across. What music do you listen to? What artists? Oh, various things. Actually, speaking of Japan, I'm currently going through a baby metal kick. Don't mind admitting that. It's good music. I know the video's frozen. I'm just going to fix it now. I was always into like alt rock stuff, British, you know, stuff you might never have heard of. James, the Divine Comedy, Muse, bit of New Order, stuff like that, and occasional sort of. And also, I've had placebo, and I've enjoyed a lot of sort of classic 90s pop. That's my nostalgia, doing that. Sort of classic British 90s pop groups, girl bands and stuff like that. I do kind of dig some of those big singles that we heard on the radio all the time when we were kids. Just because it tickles my nostalgia cortex. But I found out what I really like is cartoon theme tunes and heavy guitars, and that's exactly what baby metal is. Oh, good man, I'm not here for the gameplay, really. Good, because it's not good gameplay. Thanks for the video. Have a great day. Have a great day too. I'm going to finish streaming at about past, so I can go and get lunch. Not a big rock guy, but I love rap and rock mixed together. Yeah, cool. Fair. I respect it. So like maybe kind of a new metal vibe, I don't know. I do like a bit of Linkin Park. But it was sort of the same in that I guess it's heavy guitars mixed with stuff that normally does not have heavy guitars. So poppy as well, right? It's big pop choruses with big guitars and screaming. Electric Callboy as well, right? Similar vibe. That is just It's the metal core kind of stuff. I see Electric Callboys having like big old style Euro dance feel, but heavy. Do you ever find it, like, I don't know how old you are, but do you find that your music tastes are stuck in a particular age? Like, because I realised a few years ago that I was unaware of any music that came out after I turned like about 28, something like that. Like, I don't know. I sort of deliberately sought to rectify that a little bit, and that's why, like, I've deliberately gone and listened to new stuff. I'm 15, so I haven't hit that age yet. Yeah, cool. You probably, I think a lot of people do. I think when you get older, you find that you sort of, your tastes kind of stop at a certain point, and I don't think that's necessarily good for you. Same with video games as well. Like, I like all the old games, but I play a lot of new ones as well. But with music, I realised I was like, oh man, I'm only listening to music that came out like in the 2000s, and I don't know of anything that happened since 2010. I need to do something about that, and I did. And that's when I found out I like heavy guitars on cartoon theme tunes. Basically. Like, not literally that. Myopic when it comes to not quite hard to speak. Okay. You don't need to be. I've got involved with the local choir as part of my efforts into German integration, because that's the thing you do in Germany. And that's good fun as well. Like, if you're 15, you probably... I don't want to judge it, you know, you'll feel this or not. But actually just singing with a load of people is really joyful. And there are multiple ways to do that. In Germany, we do it with choirs. You will do it with concerts. Possibly. I certainly did. Not at 15 though, took me a little while. If anything, most people my age doesn't know artists like Travis Stock and Kendrick Lamar. Artists have been pre-established for like 10 years at this point. I listened to a lot of artists of 2 years around that point. Fair, okay, interesting. To me, those things are new, obviously. But it's an interesting thing that's happening with gaming at the moment as well. I can understand what you're saying by knowing a bit about how it is in the games industry, where the most played games came out like 10 years ago. Your Fortnites, your Minecrafts, your PUBGs, all that stuff. The most time spent gaming is live service games that have been around for like a decade. And I wonder why. The other thing I've noticed that's interesting to me as an old guy-ish is all of the fashion from the 2000s is coming back. I saw an ankle bracelet yesterday. Don't think I've seen an ankle bracelet since 2002. really interesting to me how tastes and trends change and go around in circles. And tracking it with retro games is interesting as well. There was definitely a point where no one cared about retro games specifically, and then they sort of hit a resurgence and all the prices soared. Blame the Nintendo Wii. Virtual Console. Maybe. Not trying to sound like a niche music experiment or whatever, like a lot of popular stuff. Yeah, I don't buy into that either. Like, I agree with you. Like what you like, and it doesn't matter if other people like it or not. If you like stuff that other people like, that's cool. That makes it easier to find community, but it doesn't. It's not necessary, and it's not a downside either. It's just like, you know, enjoy what you enjoy. Don't let anyone else tell you not to. You know, and whether you find your people in sort of the general public or in clubs with very small memberships, it doesn't matter. Like, are you talking about the films you watch with your co-workers, or are you talking about the films you like to watch with a obscure classic films subreddit or whatever? Doesn't matter. Rise of the indie gaming sphere is interesting, I agree. I'll continue to enjoy getting over it unironically. All right. Yeah, crack on. No, it's like it's you and like Grand Pooh Bear, right? Who like legitimately enjoy getting over it. So much so that he made a game inspired by it. I'm backtracking because I don't know what else to do, and that's what you do in Metroid games. Although, as you say, at this point, the gaming is very much secondary to just sort of chatting. It's really fun to speedrun. I believe you. Here's the thing, right? There's games like Getting Over It that are, I think, I think, designed primarily to be watched and to watch people playing them, the sort of rage games. And I think that's the main point of them, and I don't think you'll convince me otherwise. But, for that to work, someone has to enjoy them. Someone has to want to stream them. So they have to also be good games that a certain type of person will really genuinely get a kick of. I wonder how long it'll be before the nostalgia cycle reaches the 7th console generation. The graphical aesthetic of that era is reclaimed by future indie games. It's kind of got there, I think, with PlayStation. I don't think there are games doing the PlayStation 2 aesthetic. I think the PlayStation 2 aesthetic still basically just looks like bad and cheap. What was 7th gen? What's 7th gen PS2? Because I never remember generations, but I remember PlayStations. Because I think the PS2 aesthetic could come back as a deliberate thing, because I think it's different enough to what we get now. But I remember saying at the time, and I stand by it, that when the Xbox 360 and the PS3 came out, graphics were effectively solved. Like, you could represent anything. The fidelity would improve, But from the point where we could represent anything on screen and have it look realistic enough, like when we could do proper facial expressions in normal gameplay and not just in cutscenes, that was it. Graphics were solved, and there's no point going back to that era, to PS3, Xbox 360, even if that era of games is kind of retro now. There's no point. It didn't have a specific art style. It had, well, I don't know. Like most games back then didn't. They were just enjoying the new kind of level of realism that the technology afforded them. And we've only like built from there. Like the fidelity's improved, but the style hasn't changed. Like you could put like Clair Obscur is a freaking beautiful, beautiful game. It'll work on PS3 and Xbox 360. Not as well, but it would work. You could do it. PS2 you couldn't. That's my feeling anyway. You've inspired me again. I've just started Metroid II. That is one floaty jump. Yeah. Oh, glad you tried to try it. I hope you like it. Started traditional on my channel last year where I played a full game of Desert Bus every December 23rd because something so stupid encourages conversations like you're actually on the bus. Oh, that's a sweet idea. Yeah, Ben Foley's narration in it is really good. And in Getting Over It, I did enjoy that. But I enjoyed it watching streamers, speedrunners play it. Same thing with... oh, what's the new one? Not Curiosity. It was the one Grand Pooh Bear played just before Curiosity came out with Baby Steps. Baby Steps. Baby Steps looks incredible. I really enjoyed watching streamers play it. Yep. That's how I enjoyed Baby Steps. What I love about those games, though, about these Rage games, is that they are so clearly labours of love, because I don't think those are games that are made to make a big profit, and I don't think they do. I think they sell to streamers and Samuel, and that's it, and that's fine, and they don't need to do more than that. But like they make for such lovely pieces of art, and there are multiple ways to appreciate it, and to appreciate those, and playing them is one of them. And I don't think it's the most popular way. Oh yeah, the aesthetic of the 7th Gen was the grey-brown, gritty realism look that was populated by Dude Bro shooters of the era. Yeah. But we've still got that, haven't we? You know, Call of Duty still exists. Okay, so we destroyed the Metroid in here. Did we just jump down after that? Like, should we be continuing up from this point? I'm getting lost in this, but I'm still enjoying it, and this is a Game Boy game, and I have to remind myself periodically that this is a Game Boy game. Like, not even a late Game Boy game. Like, in terms of technological achievement, this is, like, fine. But in terms of experience, this is way bigger than the platform it's on. And I don't know where I'm going. I haven't gotten genuinely angry at a game in a while. Covering the whole Mario franchise makes your patience immeasurable. Okay. What are you doing with the Mario franchise? How does that challenge your patience? Oh, okay. Yeah, we did this and then we died. That's right. It's nice when they get stuck on things. So we're going to get the earthquake now. Okay, not yet. Oh, yeah, I forgot we hadn't done that. Mario Sunshine, okay. Say no more. I really liked the bits of Mario Sunshine where you didn't have flood. They would later those bits, the little platform challenge bits, would later be expanded on in the Mario Galaxy series and done much better as well. The 7th gen never fully went away, but it no longer represents the dominant aesthetic of games. IMO. I'd argue games are so heterogeneous now that there is no longer a dominant aesthetic, and that's interesting. The main reason why I barely drop videos is because of the editing. That's why I haven't uploaded anything in over a month. I've got so many ideas for stuff I want to do for scripted videos, but I don't want to do any until I've finished the last Japan one, and it's just taking such a long time to edit. I'll do a bit now and then, and it's just taking so long, but I kind of try not to beat myself up over it, and do more streaming in the meantime. Like, I know, like, YouTube does reward a more regular release schedule, and that's a shame that I'm just straight up not meeting that right now, but it's what it is. You drive yourself crazy if you live your life by the algorithm. But I remain jealous of YouTubers who do well enough to afford editors. I really want to be over there. Why can't I be over there? Video games. Do you want to drop a video reading shitty game creepypastas for Halloween because the editing process just didn't make it? It's fine, Halloween's barely celebrated in Australia anyway. Yeah, don't worry about it. I did something for Halloween kind of in a sort of half-assed sort of way last year. Didn't at all this year. It's fine. Like, my wife's a YouTuber as well. Claudia, Spinster's Library. Check her out if you like retro books. That channel name again is Spinster's Library. And it's really cool. And she, for a while, worked 4 days a week. I would rather not drop a video than half-ass it. It's true, because it's there forever. And she had like a dedicated YouTube day and had like a full release schedule to coincide with major like book releases and events and holidays and all sorts of stuff. And I just can't imagine that. There is definitely an argument for like, I'm really tempted to see if financially I can do a 4-day work week. Oh look, we've discovered something. And try and use that day a week to make this channel a little bit more professional. Wave beam. As it is at the moment, I'm just not pushing myself too hard. Like, I know I'm not a high energy person, and I know that if I spent more time on YouTube than I do right now, I know my work would suffer and I'd lose my job and not be able to buy any video games, and then what's the point in anything? So yeah, but you can't beat yourself up about stuff like that. That's what it is. I think, how do I get... I don't know. I'm going to find a save point and then end the stream anyway. Oh, we've frozen again, have we? Get the audio back as well. But yeah, it's same. Like, I'm a big old narcissist, and I quite enjoy sometimes going back and over my old videos. And there are some that I've just never rewatched because you know, because they were quite quick drops or whatever. Just to put a video out, I have done that. But it doesn't feel good. It doesn't provide the same satisfaction. Whereas if I spend a little bit longer and work on the video, it'll be something that I'll enjoy going back to, and hopefully other people will as well. Save complete. Right, okay. I'm going to say thank you so much to all of you for coming and watching and hanging out. It's been really fun, just sitting and chatting with y'all and playing some Metroid 2. I'm going to spend definitely a little bit more time with this game. We've got Wonder Boy on the go as well, but Wonder Boy's not as good as Metroid 2. So, we'll see. But I'm going to go off and get myself some food and enjoy my Sunday. And I hope all of you have a great day as well. Or night if there are any Americans still hanging about. It's getting late. Go to bed. No. Alright. Cool. Thanks for joining me on the Retro Sofa, and I will see you again very soon.